Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is now just less than 5 months away from its official release by writer and director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio, as well as creator George Lucas. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, what's really exciting about Episode 9 is that we do know that this story is going to add in many different revelations that will lead to saga-wide implications within the Skywalker saga that's going to be used in a way in order to really show the fans different sides of different characters than what we would have ever expected to see on the big screen. Now, on top of all of this, what's really intriguing about everything is that these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to various shot descriptions of the upcoming Episode 9 film, this is where things begin to get very exciting. Now, specifically, shot descriptions consisting of a sequence where it's explained that both Kylo Ren and Rey are facing the Dark Acolyte, with both of their lightsabers ignited, where it's said that the Dark Acolyte, who is under the control of Palpatine, begins to raise his arms, where he starts to lift pieces of the Death Star 2 wreckage and tossing it toward both Rey and Kylo, where they are forced to dodge the debris. As this happens, Kylo is said to use the Force Stasis technique, also known as Force Freeze, against a large piece of the Death Star 2 wreckage, where one of the sequences is said to involve a moment where Palpatine begins to take aim at a massive Star Destroyer in the sky that holds a superweapon called the First Order Annihilator, where Palpatine is said to use the Force alone to turn the destroyer on Kylo Ren's position, and is able to activate the superweapon to beam down to the ocean, creating a large tidal wave that is described to head toward the Death Star 2 wreckage. This is where it's said that both Kylo Ren and Rey use the Force to block the wave of water from swallowing the wreckage whole, along with themselves. It's said to be a battle through the use of the Force powers between Kylo, Rey, and Palpatine, where as all of this happens, Palpatine laughs in the background. So let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now, we do know that Episode 9 is going to have a lot of epic moments that are going to be very large. You know, we do know that this film is going to have a lot of new Force powers, different sequences that are going to be very wide-angled. You know, we saw this great example in the Rise of Skywalker teaser trailer, where we saw that nice, beautiful, wide shot of the ocean with the wreckage of the Death Star in the middle of that ocean, and that was, of course, followed by Palpatine's laughter. So, Ian McDiarmid coming back for the role of Palpatine is not only the most exciting element of The Rise of Skywalker, but it's also the fact that both Rey and Kylo Ren are going to actually fight against Palpatine in Star Wars Episode 9. It's very surreal, I know. The fact that this is really happening in a Star Wars movie by J.J. Abrams is surreal to say at the least. Now, what's really exciting about all of this is that Palpatine is said to lift pieces of the Death Star 2 wreckage and throwing it toward both Rey and Kylo. Once again, this is a nice little parallel to what Palpatine did against Yoda in, of course, Revenge of the Sith, throwing the seats toward Yoda and how Yoda was blocking the wreckage and blocking the seats, etc. So, what I like about this also is that there's a moment in which Palpatine does something incredible, something very similar to what Starkiller did in, of course, the video games back in the early 2000s, where in the Force Unleashed video game, Starkiller blocked a Star Destroyer, where in this scenario, Palpatine is literally shifting one of the First Order Star Destroyers that holds one of the new superweapons called the First Order Annihilators, which are actually said to hold Death Star technology, where Palpatine is able to use the Force to initiate this blast, where it creates a large tidal wave in the middle of the ocean, where both Rey and Kylo Ren are put into a position where they are both forced to block the tidal wave by use of the Force itself, and preventing themselves from being swallowed whole by the water. Now, this is very great because not only does this include Force powers and a battle between Rey, Kylo, and Palpatine, but it's also containing the elements of water. You know, just using the element of water and throwing that into the mix and using something incredible to an extent like this. So we do know that Palpatine in this scenario, he's testing both Rey and Kylo Ren. He is literally using the Force itself to determine the fate of both Rey and Kylo Ren and exactly where they really stand. Now, the Death Star 2 wreckage, a lot of people are starting to wonder, where in the world is this located? Is this on Endor? Because we do know that Endor, the forest moon, by the way, of Endor, approximately has, I believe it was 10% water. If I'm not mistaken, it might be 8%. But nonetheless, this could very well be a different moon or a different planet that was nearby the Death Star 2 wreckage or the destruction of it during the events of Episode 6. That's another big possibility as well. All in all, guys, I will say that Palpatine's return is not only surreal, but it's very exciting, and I 100% believe that it really is the driving force of the hype for this movie, without a doubt. You know, for The Last Jedi, it was all about Luke, which unfortunately, did not really work out too well for a lot of fans out there. And now it's all about Palpatine and his return, and exactly how that's all going to be utilized in this movie. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.